it, and then we can get started.
Sweet. I will share on Facebook real quick one last time.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you want me to call you Fetty Boss? Is that your pseudonym?
Problem is like I have so many like stage names now from being a whore. But Fetty works, or Russell works, or Smash.
All right, man. We'll call you Fetty. I'm about it.
I actually like that only recently people started calling me that when I first started doing this. They started calling me that or Dr. Fetty, and I was like, you know what? It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, okay, so let's get started here. Good afternoon, Whale Coin Talk community. This is our third AMA of the day. We are here with the FettyCoins project. We got Dr. Fetty and his two lovely friends. And so without further ado, Dr. Fetty, give us a quick background on your career in crypto, your career outside of crypto. Judging by the website and judging by my research, you've done quite a bit to get where you are today. I know you guys started in 2012. So give us a quick rundown, and then we can get into the details of the project.
Okay. My name is Russell. I'm the person who founded FetFan.com and FettyCoins and about a bazillion other websites while I was in college. This is Lana Mars, Little Lana Mars, or Kayla. This is Ginger, my second half, primarily for our channel, aka Ginger Snaps when we started, or Ashley. So Ashley or Ginger, Lana or Kayla or Fetty or Smash or Russell or that bald guy that is in all these videos with a bunch of hot girls that he probably shouldn't. I don't know. So I founded FetFan in 2012 while I was in college at UNC Chapel Hill. While I was in college there, I was there for Green to Gold. I was in active duty Army, and Green to Gold is where you go from being an enlisted to an officer. I was running the S6 for one of the 82nd Artillery Divisions, battalions, excuse me. And S6 is communications. In the Army, each like little branch has like an S1 and S2. I was in charge of the entire S6 for this 82nd Airborne Battalion, Artillery Battalion, and I designed like all kinds of like cool little gadgets and fun things that work together. I designed a secure fiber optic network that is actually used in Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere you can think. We have this thing that's called a STT, and I worked with Cisco and Blackbox and a few other like General Dynamics to be able to build something to where that we could extend our SIPR and NIPR connections in the field more effectively and quickly. And basically I got an award for it, but I designed that. Or me and my team, we all worked together to design it. And then I got out the Army while I was, I dislocated my kneecap while I was in Green to Gold, and they had offered me the chance to separate, and I did. And I went to, I actually became a cheerleader for UNC Chapel Hill. I became a varsity athlete for UNC Chapel Hill, and I can hold a human being above my head with one hand, and I was on the field and doing all that stuff. While I was there is when I founded FetFan, and, being a college student, it's, you don't have a lot of money. And one of the biggest issues I was coming into is to be able to get like a site off the ground, you need to be able to have a couple of things. And one of the biggest things you need to be able to do is you need to have a vehicle. It doesn't matter how great of a product you have. If you don't have a vehicle, someone to drive it, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I was trying to like work with influencers, but when you have like college pay, you don't really have like thousands of dollars to like work with all these influencers, and the $100 influencers aren't always like the most reliable. So I wasn't really getting where I needed to get. you know, where I wanted to go. We started moving towards the direction on FetFan because we wanted to be able to sell art and sell it in digital art. This is like, we were actually trying to do NFTs before NFTs even existed. So what we started to try to do, because I couldn't afford like a giant payment gateway, they were like a lot of money. It was like 50 to 70K. We actually existed before OnlyFans, and they're actually quite good sponsors of us now, but you know, they had a bunch of money to be able to pay for like a credit card gateway and all this other great stuff. We actually went with PayPal because that's what I could afford. And this is prior to they made like a bunch of changes to their policies, but prior to that, it was very accessible. And we went through the process of getting it's an exceptional policy because PayPal, at that time, it's like 5, 7, 10 years ago, they didn't really allow things with nudity or anything 18 plus, and anything that was considered like 18 plus and nudity had to go through like an exceptional policy. So we actually went through like this whole process. We got this exceptional policy from PayPal so that we could process payments. Everything was going good for like a good hot minute, and we were utilizing activity points, and the activity points were able to be converted into, you know, regular cash, and that was filled by ads and, you know, all the other stuff that was happening within it. But then what had happened was PayPal, they had changed their policies and they started restricting it like a lot more. And a lot of our users, you know, were all overseas, and, you know, they're artists, and they are getting their PayPal accounts like killed because, you know, it's digital art. And what would happen is they would get their artwork, or they would deliver the artwork, and the person who was receiving it would would make a fake claim or whatever it was, and PayPal was very quick to like lock down the seller's account, not the person who was making the thing. And there was lots of streamers and content creators, 18 plus content creators that were, you know, they were selling clips and trying to do and working that manner. And then PayPal was actually like closing down their accounts and like disabling them. I myself, like, I mean, anyone that's used PayPal for anything, they've probably lost at least one PayPal account. I've lost like 10. The only like PayPal account that I've ever really held on to was my info at FetFan PayPal one. And it's because it's like got the exceptional policy type thing.
Wait a minute. I'm really curious here. How did you manage to lose 10 PayPal? I've had my PayPal account for over 10 years. I'm really curious to know how you've managed to lose 10 PayPal accounts.
Because I'm a whore.
Okay. Touche.
Basically. So what happens is that, you know, we'll get like an order for a custom, right? So customs are like, I want you to, you know, wear this and wear that and do this, right? So we'll put together this custom video for this client, you know, and it's usually $700 to like $3,000, right? So we get all of our money, we get it, we go through, we make this entire fucking thing, and then we send, you know, the product to them. They get the product, you know, and then like a day or two later, they go in. Is that an earthquake or one of you shaking?
One of me shaking.
Please, thank you. And then like a day or two later, they put like a claim in, and because it's got like 18 plus or it's naughty, they would straight up just like disable the account. They would refund all the money, disable the account, and because you're not supposed to like use PayPal for naughty things like that, basically.
Understood. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I really didn't realize how bad it was until I started trying to utilize them, and being someone that's in the adult industry, it's they're kind of a pain in the butt, honestly.
Got it. And are you a adult film actor?
Yeah, so she is actually in a mainstream. So there's two different like categories. So we're streamers, and we win awards for it and shit.
Right on. Best cam couple.
Yeah, so we're streamers, and we stream primarily on Chatterbait, and we have like over 430 followers on Chatterbait. So basically, we have a bunch of famous people that, you know, are in mainstream. They come over and they hang out for the weekend with us, and we show them around Alaska. We make a bunch of content. And then we do live shows where we all get naked and play together and get tips. And then we take that content and then we sell that too. So we make money during our live shows. And then we also make money via the passive income from the clip sales.
Got it. And okay, so tell me about your venture from that into crypto. Like, how do those worlds collide?
So that really like came because we were having such an issue with being able to have a payment processor, right? Being able a way to be able to monetize this art in a safe way, and, you know, not just art, but like content and clips and subscriptions. So we starting to move towards the crypto area, right? 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, it was really only like Bitcoin and stuff like that. So I actually integrated BitPay. Some of you have probably heard of it. So I did an integration with BitPay, and we actually have that fully functional. It's on it, and that was our first little step into it. As we started trying to move further into the direction of, you know, being able to integrate blockchain, it became more like viable that we find some type of partnership that we could, you know, integrate and you know, actually partner with the blockchain that we're integrating with. So I actually spent like a good hot minute trying to do that, trying to find like the right coin that we could work with. The problem is that like all of the adult coins are not very marketable to non-adult people. Like, you know, I don't want to say any names. I don't want to like make it seem like I'm bashing one of the other coins.
Spank Chain?
Hey, actually, those are one of our. So yeah, I'll say that. So
the OG. Chain,
yeah. So they're actually one of our. We actually know them. So the way that they are done, they're done so whore heavy that it makes it unmarketable outside of Whoreville. And for you to be able to have a truly transactional cryptocurrency, you need to have something that, you know, is marketable to, you know, people that aren't within the industry. Now, the adult industry is huge, you know, but if you have something that is only usable within one set of like reach or one little net, that's pretty much the problem that we have with cryptocurrency. That's the exact issue that we have with blockchain, is that everybody builds their technology, their community, so that it only works within their community because they're trying to be able to maximize their ROI. The problem with this is this old mentality that they think that there's like a limited number of users in the world, and they have to just get a hold of that limited number. Right now, if they were to open things up, they would see that their limited number exists. And please stop. That their limited number exists. And when you take their limited numbers and then you start tagging them together and you start blending them together, you can see how fast things expand, and how much money there really is. There's in the cam world, there was like the same thing, you know, like 5 years ago, it was, you know, if one of my fans is talking to you and blah, 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 and this and that. My fans can't talk to you because, you know, they're there for me, you know, and it's like this mentality that, you know, there is a finite number of fans, there's a finite number of users, and there really isn't. And if we start moving blockchain, we start making it more user friendly and making it easier for the average user to be able to get into and operate, then there really is no like number. There's no roof for blockchain because the accessibility, the usability, and once everything starts to be able to integrate and work together, and it's really just gonna pop. It's just gonna blow up, and it's just gonna be there. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted, you know, to be able to have all of these functions, you know, that would be able to give the, you know, the security, the anonymity, all that good stuff. You know, I wanted to be able to provide that not only for myself, but for other people. And I wanted to be able to provide it in a safe way because, you know, like I like crypto and I like being able to research crypto and find good things to be able to play with. But it really, really sucks when you think you found something cool and then like a rug gets pulled or something like that. So I spending all of this time like dealing with like scammers and content thieves and, you know, fake profiles and security and all that stuff. I saw this like great parallel between this vacancy in the crypto world, to where if I were to start putting that into, if I made a site, I could fix a lot of them. And I did. So I'll start talking about FettyCoins.
Cool. Yeah. And, you know, I agree with you. I think that the next big wave of money that comes into the space is going to be the result of lowering that barrier to entry that you just talked about. Even though this stuff makes sense to you and me, and oftentimes because I'm around crypto heads all the time, I feel like everyone knows about this. But when I go out of my circle, I realize that most people don't really know how to, you know, do even things that are simple to me, like approve transactions, get stuff on a decentralized wallet. So really, once that kind of, again, barrier to entry becomes seamless, it's going, you know, the everyday average grandpa and grandma are able to buy stuff like FettyCoin. We're going to see a surge of capital coming to the crypto market. So in that regard, we are very early. So with that said, I'm curious to know what your plans are specifically to be one of the catalysts in lowering that barrier to entry.
Yeah, so that's where the FettyCoin site comes in. It's built within it's a social media site that is integrated with blockchain, right? So the familiarity they feel is very similar to like Facebook or Twitter. I think I got it ready to pull up. So the pages, the flow, stuff is very similar to like Facebook and Twitter. Now, let's just say this was a coin, for example. You come to this brand new coin. This coin just launched today. It's, you know, this is Achilles, but, you know, say this is a coin. This coin just launched today. Day one that they launched, they have integrated multi-chain, cross-chain swapping right on their very page. So you don't have to click links. You don't have to go to this or go to that. You're right here on their verified page that has, you know, that's verified there, that, you know, that these verified links, all the pre-sale, everything is boom right here. I'll go to Brian's real quick. You guys can see, right? I'm not just talking to myself.
Yeah. So over there, you're able to swap BNB for the desired token. Where are you pulling liquidity from? Is that from PancakeSwap?
So this one is via Rubik, and Rubik actually integrates with over 60 different things. So this is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rubik at all. Have you seen it? It's quite sexy.
Interesting. You got Avalanche, Polygon, Moonriver, Solana, Harmony. Yeah, you got, wow. So it's pulling from AAMs across like number of chains, right?
Mm-hmm. So here we go. For example, if we put Ethereum on there, and if it wanted to connect right now, it always fucks up with OBS. But it'll open it up and it'll say, and so if they have say like Uniswap and PancakeSwap, you'll have like a couple of different versions. If I go to Rubik, it probably will work better. Boom. So it's integrated. So you simply just, like, we just did some Ethereum testing the other day. It was pretty sweet. Connect wallet, MetaMask. Let me log in real quick. Sorry, I wasn't planning on going over here, so I wasn't like logged in and like prepped.
Oh, you're good, man. No worries.
Of course, it wants me to switch because, yeah. Yes, I know I don't have it. So there, can you see how it works?
Yeah.
Yes. So the routing and everything, and it handles, and it, you know, it grabs from over here, routes it, grabs from over there, and makes it work. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yep.
So day one, you know, when users are coming here, you know, new user. Now, if you're a new to the crypto space and you're trying to, you know, get into, I'm gonna actually go back to Brian's because they got stuff in the listing and that. And you're trying to like research a coin. So you can come here, you know, you can look and see what's going on. You can see all of their links. You can see all of their people that are connected to it. The good thing about this is you can actually like track down and check on a project and see, like, you know, for marketing people, this is really cool because you can see what type of marketing effect each marketer or whatever it has. Contract devs, like I was talking to Trinos, and you know, he has like a lot of people that try to fake and say that, you know, their contract was on, or that he was the one that wrote the contract. So with this is really simple because they could just go to the page and be like, oh look, Trinos isn't on there. Hey Trinos, this coin is saying that you're on there, you know, you're not, are you? So maybe Trinos just didn't accept the invite. It's just like Facebook. Maybe, you know, he just has to accept it. He accepts it, boom, it's done. If not, then, you know, now he knows what's going on, right? So integrated into here is listings, right? So not only do you have the ability to be able to have your crypto on page, you know, the way to be able to have cross chain swapping right there on your main profile, which is verified along with all of your links, you can also sell stuff. So if you have swag, you have merch, you know, packets, NFTs, anything like that, you can sell them directly via here. So the day one that you launch, you actually have, you know, utility and use for your coin. And of course, you know, you have your video integrations and all of this stuff, which integrates with YouTube and so on. So you have this.
So how much does so I saw there that if you go back, it's providing listing services, right? So for Dex tools, you pay this much, you get a fast track listing of your project. How much do these advertisers have to pay you guys for you to list them on your website?
So for all of these verification stuff, this is actually free. We're actually not charging for the utilization of the services. What it's going to be is, when we start integrating everything, it's all of the taxes. So we're going to make the money from the transaction via the taxes, the blockchain taxes. So we're not going to charge like listing fees and stuff like that. Now there is things that you know that you can do, like features out there. This one is done, this feature. So like featuring and sponsoring, those abilities exist, and it's going to be like a couple $100 a week. But that's just basic advertising stuff. And of course there's advertising and bannering, but the point is to get verified projects on here. So for example, you can't make a page like this unless you're a verified person. You can't integrate. So also integrated into it. The size is a little off. 1 second. You can't quite see. All right. So also integrated into it is this chat. So this chat has all the functionalities of Telegram, and pretty much everything else. It also has built-in voice. It has built-in voice, built-in video, group video, and it's all fully integrated with OBS. This also goes along with the live video integration that is here as well, which is also integrated with OBS. So these little groups, right? So this is just like a Telegram group, but only verified people can make them. So
how would one get verified through your blue checkmark system?
Apply for it. Basically all we're doing, so if you have like a legit project and you have a legit, you know, like Facebook page, you know, you have real social media. You didn't just make the project like the day before, you know, and the Twitter has like, you know, 1 follower. And then, you know, of course, or via like KYC process, you know, through like InterFi or one, you know, Spywolf or one of the other people that, you know, that provide the services. So they have that verification and it all comes together. We verify that the links that are on here are, you know, are legit. And if you come here, and which is really easily done, I have all of them integrated into here. So they actually can physically connect, to these accounts to verify that they are the ones in charge of these accounts, right? So you're at the page, you can see all the verified links, you see that they're here, you see that they're connected, you can see all of the different pages and events and contests and all the other things that are integrated into it and how they interact. Where was I back? Go ahead. You have another question? Oh yeah, I was talking about this. So boom, we have this. We have the IM is the same thing. It expands, can be made prettier. Now, because only verified folks can make these groups, you can't have, scammers that are like coming through at the end of the day, making a fake group an hour before a coin launches, and like, spamming it out and getting people to go to fake links, because they don't have that ability. The only people that can make these groups are people that are verified. And if you're a verified person and you start acting like that, you're going to lose your verification, and that's not really a good thing, because then, you're not going to be able to access the site in the same way. And especially if you're like a marketer, that really sucks, because that really limits your influence and your ability to, operate. Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm curious to know more about the FettyCoin and how it relates to your overall ecosystem. What utility does it provide, or what are some of the utilities that it provides?
Yeah, so the FettyCoin is going to be the primary transactional currency for a lot of the integration aspects of the site. It's also going to be the transactional currency for FetFan.com. So FetFan.com will have we're going to have 18 plus NFTs. On FettyCoins, we're going to have NFTs, but they're just going to be safe for work ones. So we have our FetFan, and I'll just leave it here because I don't think there'll be any boobies on it. So we have our FetFan, we have all of our artists here. So integrated into here is the full regular marketplace. So it will be, through here and working through there. So content subscriptions, content, clips, anything like that will be able to go through there. FettyCoins, it's going to be the intermediary for like everything eventually. And because I am integrating all the different places, as each one of them starts to integrate, I'll be expanding its reach and expanding its volume and the amount of users that are in it. As I integrate with various centralized exchanges, then I'll be able to, staking and collabs and working together. Eventually, what I am working is actually what I'm developing and working on right now is I want to be able to have, if we go back to pages, here, I'll have like my own custom swap, which will basically allow for straight up easier access. I basically want this to be like the more open end Robinhood of crypto, because if you look at Robinhood is very simple. You can you're like, all right, I want to be able to buy FettyCoins, and I don't want to have to buy it in one wallet. I don't have to go to MetaMask and go to here and go to there and then do that, right? It's my goal is to have it right here. Sorry, person I just brought up. Basically it will, if it's a SEX integrated, centralized exchange integrated, then it will tag into that. If you want to be able to buy it with straight card, you say, I want to buy $25 worth of it, it'll buy the $25 worth of it. You don't have to buy this or buy that. And basically, increasing that user familiarity, that it's very, very clicky, very functional, right? Now, the cool thing about this for like centralized exchanges is, people are getting into it, they're operating it, they're starting to buy a couple of little things, right? And what it'll lead to, and this isn't is pretty. So then that will lead to, them being able to move on to the more centralized. So right now I have a custom coin market script, but this is going to be replaced with the various integrated centralized and decentralized like exchange integrations, right? So boom, it goes from there. They're like, all right, well, I want to check out other coins, or I want to start, trading at a higher level, right? So then they start trading, here, and they start looking at this stuff, which will then lead, that goes to, I can say one because it's out. So then will then lead to, going to the actual website, right? So whitebit.com is one of our listing partners and integration partners. So via their API, some of their abilities will then be injected on the FettyCoins, but then you'll be able to come over here to do the more advanced stuff, right? So you go from the noob version of trading, the quick and easy noob version. You can do your research, you can check out the projects, you can, check out the devs, you can research them, you can see what projects they've been connected to, in the past, that's what be here, right here. You can see all the different projects that someone has been connected to or is connected to, and you can actually like research them and track them down. And then as you're expanding to, all right, well, I want to be able to, do a little bit more, trade a little bit more, you can then go on to those next steps. So integrated into here is we also have like events. So this is like what is a really cool thing for like the centralized exchanges, because they have like listing events, right? So listing events happen, you integrate it into here. It has a cool little page. It has all the stuff. It's fully integrated. It can be shared. You can also do mass inviting via email, and which is huge, of course, as you know, being able to do something like that. And that directs it directly to this page, which then directs it, to their verified page. So, so whoever is clicking on it knows that it's verified, right? That's that reputation, trying to make things, feel more comfortable, seem more secure, things like that. And of course we have like our wonderful crypto bulls over here from InterFi who can provide services and stuff like that. Questions?
Yeah. So, you guys are providing a lot of different services. And before I want to ask a few questions about those, can we get a quick high level breakdown of the tokenomics, and also hear about your private sale, your pre-sale, all that good stuff?
Sweet. So wonderfully broken into here. Can you read? All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we actually fair launched. So we fair launched with a 20K market cap with 10K liquidity in the LP pool. I just said LP pool. with 10K liquidity. Yeah. So our taxes, our max taxes are 12. It's broken up to rewards, liquidity, marketing, and team dev, and of course 1% for the contract dev. These max taxes are the max that they're ever going to be, minus like special events like buy holidays or something like that. Now these max taxes are going to change once I get to what I call the transactional phase. Once that happens, the total tax will be 12%. So it'll be 6 out and 6 in. And also there'll be less tax for integrated services. So if you're an integrated NFT or shop or marketplace or something like that, you'll actually have less tax because, you're an approved integrated, we trust you, we work together. Clover.com, they do POS, point of sales integrations, and I'm working on an app with them right now, which will allow for FettyCoins to be accepted pretty much nationwide. They're a national retailer of point of sale, provider of point of sale systems. And once my app is put into their app directory, which is kind of like a Google Play type thing, for me to be able to use, it will then be available for every single one of the possible people that utilizes their service. We're actually the first blockchain integration that is being worked with on that level with them. But yeah, so we'll be able to integrate that into them. And this is really useful for me because part of being able to, make a cryptocurrency is being able to have use. So not only did I work at becoming an influencer, built my, my following and everything like that, I also built a property that would be able to have use. So on the property that I just took over last November is the Willow Trading Post. It has already has integrated. It has a bar and a grill. It's a really cool place, the Willow Trading Post in Willow, Alaska. It has a bar and a grill, which is a POS integration. It has the lodging / resort aspect of it, which is a POS integration. The lodging is cabins, Airbnbs, camps, the RV park, stuff like that, right?
Can we see pictures?
Yeah, I'll actually just pull up, probably have on Facebook. Trading Post.
Sweet.
That is not ours, but here. Hey, look, there we are for an article. So this place has been around. This looks really old because it is really old. This place has been around since the 50s. It's been around since before like before like Alaska was America. And it's this gigantic 15-acre property that's really, really beautiful and really cool. And there's us in this article that was there. Here's the inside of the bar. It's got this cute little bar. And yeah, so it's really cool. And it's a 15-acre property, which is pretty solid because, you have all kinds of, animals and creatures, and you're in Alaska and it's beautiful outside. So it's in Hatcher's Pass or Willow, Alaska. So we're back on camera, ladies. So it's in Willow, Alaska, which is in the Hatcher's Pass area, which is where Iditarod is. So it's one of the more historic spots like in Alaska. It's one of the recreational capitals. And so we have our bar, we have our grill, we have our lodging. This property is very uniquely set. We also have the ability for, we're in the process of getting our commercial cannabis cultivation license and retail license. So this will add commercial cultivation, cannabis cultivation, POS integration, and a commercial cannabis retail POS integration into the Fetty system. We have about 3 to 5 other cannabis retail folks that are looking for ways to be able to process their money in a more safe and secure way because of the way that banking and stuff is. So we'll be able to process all of that and do that for ourselves and anyone else. So I built the sites that can integrate and, make it easier for blockchain. I built use and utility and integrate and built partnerships to be able to, integrate blockchain and crypto into the normal world and make it more easy for the average user to get into it, so that it really doesn't seem like it's hard to get into with crypto, but anyone that has ever tried to boost a crypto or pump a coin or launch their own coin knows how infuriatingly difficult for some reason downloading a Trust Wallet app or MetaMask app, adding a custom token, and buying crypto on MoonPay or Simplex for the first time is. I do not understand the frustrations that some of these people have, but it truly is an issue. That it is an issue. This is why when Robinhood, when they released, I said Robinhood is going to change the freaking world, you know, because they made a way for grandmas to easily invest, you know. And if they would have opened their shit up like a year ago, they would have been in a completely different area, you know, but they want to control their little box, you know. Yeah, if we can make it easier, securer, safer, you know, and more functional, like blockchain is gonna like change the world. And you know, it's all there. It's all ready to happen. We just need people to actually believe in blockchain and actually believe in it, because you can't say that you believe in blockchain but you don't want to do anything with it, right? You can't have a coin, you know, saying that you're building all of this, but you're not having any use for it. You're not having any utility, because all that creates is your bubble to nowhere, right? You know, last year we saw all these meme coins that were just, whoa, shooting up, and just all this was happening, but nothing was happening behind the scenes, nope. Right? And no innovation was happening. They were just dumping money on marketing, right? They weren't trying to get integration. They weren't trying to get corporate sponsors or be able to get accepted. They were just trying to get users. They were just trying to get wallets, right? And I said it like a million times. You're looking at all these coins. They're just sitting on bubbles to nowhere because they're not advancing themselves, right? And what's going to happen is they're just going to keep bubbling, and eventually it's going to pop because they're not going anywhere, right? And there's so many coins that are like that. And we saw it like this year. Like I literally said that this year things were going to start popping. And during the normal, like, you know, Christmas, you know, slowdown, so many altcoins just went, you know, just went up. They're just done, you know, and people are losing their asses, and people are, you know, oh my gosh, it was worth, you know, $100,000 a week ago, you know, but now it's worth like 50 cents, you know, and that really sucks, you know. And the problem is that it really sucks because it always really sucks for like the people that are you and me, you know, because the people that have the real money, they knew that this shit was happening. Yep. You know, they knew that there was problems. And this is, like I say, if you follow the money, you'll always find the honey, you know. And if the rich people, you know, if you're looking at the news, oh, the cryptocurrency, this, and the world is coming to an end. If the rich people, if they're not moving their money, their real money, in a currency, in a coin, something like that, if the rich people aren't moving their money, you shouldn't move your money, you know. Now, if you have these gigantic wallets, you know, and these rich people start filtering out 5, 10, 15, you know, 25% a day over a month, and they're not re-injecting, you probably should like look at moving your money too, because what they're doing is they're filtering their profits out, putting money into marketing so that new people come in, and as they process their money out, people are filling in what they're taking out. You know, and the coin is already dead. You just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right on. I always tell people, if you've been in the crypto market long enough, you know that when everyone and their grandma is getting in and everyone's making money, it's probably the best time to sell. When people aren't losing money and everything is going up, it's going to pop eventually. And, you know, it did between November and December of last year. I was curious about major partnerships and sponsorships that you have, because you've highlighted those a few times, and I feel like you probably have some really major people backing you, and I'm curious to know what you can share with us regarding that.
So basically everything that we are at right now and everything that's happening, and y'all know some of the stuff that's happening because, you know, I've been talking to y'all for a while, and, you know, getting advice and whatever, because I like to do that. But right now we have 2 major listing opportunities literally sitting in my inbox right now. And I'm working on putting together the capital for them. Both of them are listing and integration. Both of them are pretty huge. And we actually have like a lot more than that. But so basically the idea is we launched this first coin listing, right? And all of the events and organic reach that happens with that, right? After we get that one going, we will then launch the second one and the second integration, and then all of the stuff that integrates, that happens with all of that, right? Now, then we have an event for the first one that's over here. So now we're tying all of this organic reach with this organic reach, and it's a really weird process, but I'll basically just like daisy chain around the world, filling in all the organic reach and tapping until I have a functional product that allows me to increase the scalability of blockchain technology.
Got it. Very cool. And you guys offer a lot of different features. I wanted to talk more specifically about live video and what that entails. Are you going to have a part of your ecosystem that's strictly meant for adult film content, where people can use the FettyCoin to contribute to their favorite adult film stars, kind of like a OnlyFans type thing? Break that down for us. Tell us more about that. I think a lot of people are curious.
So FetFan.com will allow for all of that stuff. So currently already integrated in FetFan.com. That is already functionally there, and it's actually there for BitPay. I just have it turned off right now because I'm working on something better, and BitPay, I don't like them anymore. I'm not bashing them, it's just they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, so you'll be able to subscribe and tip, and where the idea is that I'm not going to, as a performer, it really freaking sucks being a content creator, because we list a video on one of these sites, and they could take between like 40 and 60% of what we list of the sale price just for us posting on that site, right?
Right.
So this is why I was having a problem being able to find a coin that we could integrate with, because they wouldn't work with me on the taxes, and their taxes were always really high, and being able to monetize it and integrate it and make it work was going to be putting the taxes between around 17 to 20% on each transaction, which is too much. So that's why I ended up founding my own, because then I can then control the taxes, and I cannot charge listing fees and stuff like that. I don't want to take from the content creators and folks that are integrating and working with our site. I want it to be like a sharing experience, and once things are going, we'll be getting the transactional taxes on the FettyCoin, and because it's integrated into the site, we will be able to get that, and then we won't be able to, we won't have to, charge percentages for sales and stuff like that, because all of the transactions that happen, we get a small little piece, and what I learned being a whore on Chatterbait is these small little pieces, when you get a bunch of them, they add up. The tokens on Chatterbait are worth a nickel, right? So somebody buys them for 10 cents, and then when they send them to us, they're worth a nickel, right? And we clear 6 figures very easily a year, a nickel at a time. So, you get enough nickels together, they add up.
Certainly, right on. And do you guys have any partnerships with big adult film stars?
Well, other than we've worked with a bunch of them, we have a pretty, let's see, I can't even, my mini vids. Yeah, there's too much nudity on it. Never mind. I don't want to blast your TG with nudity. But oh gosh, so Mary Moody, Jill Cassidy. One of our friends just got on HBO. Chloe Cherry, she's on Euphoria. So if there's any Euphoria fans in here, Chloe Cherry is Faye in Euphoria, and she has slept on our couch as well. So
Right on. Very cool. And what are some of the more lucrative marketing strategies you're using to create exposure and get your name out there?
Boobs. Um,
Good answer.
yeah. So I intentionally chose the adult area to be able to build my organic reach. Number one, because I was 30 and like I wasn't, I'm not the best looking guy, but I'm pretty good at having sex. So I had to go where my strengths were. No one was just
Sure.
following this just for this, and I was like, oh, hey, look at Smash, man. That is a sexy beast. I'm going to follow him. I tried, that kind of didn't work, but when I took my clothes off, it worked a little bit better. So being able to build a following there, which was completely intentional because a large portion of them are folks that have little to no experience with crypto. Now, there is a very strong amount of users in the adult industry that are in crypto, and they, that's actually like really helped us because, people would be able to pay in it and made it really simple. But a vast majority of the users don't really have any crypto experience. So I have like 500,000 combined followers, and the vast majority of them are potentially new crypto users versus someone or a coin or a project that builds this organic reach solely within cryptocurrency. They're basically vying for the same followers, so you have 5 coins that launch, in the same month, and they all have the same marketing folks that they're all working with, right? They're all vying for the same exact organic reach, right? All these projects or exchanges, they're not actually expanding their organic reach because they're all just trying to vie for what they feel is this like finite number of people, right? Because that's where they know there's money, right? They're not thinking about the expansion of the project, they're thinking about the expansion of their profits. So they focus that marketing within that. Now, what I'm doing, and reason why I have brought a coin from a 20K market cap, to where it is right now, fair launch, is I'm tapping into all of them and I'm expanding all of them. And then there's going to come this point to where as I start laying in, which is kind of what's already happening right now, that's why we're spiking so much. So as I start laying in these various little, pockets and patterns, there's going to come this time to where all these, they just kind of over mesh and like overlay, and then it's just, and it's just going to happen, and the one influencer is going to be like some random person with like 30K followers is going to be like, oh my God, this is cool. And they're going to link it. And then it's just going to be like, boom, because there's just going to be that, it's just going to tie something together,
That ripple effect.
Yeah. And when you drop a ripple here and you drop a ripple here and you drop a ripple there, what's going to happen is they all collide. And I proved that with FetFan because at the time, there wasn't a lot of integration. I integrated everything, and basically like had like a Hootsuite in the back end. Not as good as Hootsuite. I love Hootsuite. But basically had like a Hootsuite functionality in the back end. And that really allowed for being able to manage like content and post and scheduling and stuff like that.
Right. And would you consider any other projects that are doing something similar to you to be major competitors in the space, or do you think that you guys are unique in that regard and there's no one else really that measures up?
Well, there recently, since we broke 500K, there's been like 5 that have popped up. But honestly, there isn't another NFT 18 plus that is in the scenario to me, because I have over 30,000 users that have been, on my site since, for years, for almost a decade. There's a million people trying to do things like that. There's always folks that are trying to do stuff, but we're the only one that was launched, by folks like us, and it was built by me, not some crazy like company that, spends millions of dollars and stuff like that. And they're not trying to integrate. They're trying to build theirs. And that's a big difference, is because they're focused on their bottom line. They're not really trying to utilize their organic reach or their profits or their stuff to be able to build anywhere else, right? They're like, yeah, we'll integrate, but I don't really want to be motivated too much to be able to push this because, I don't want to lose my users. And
Right.
Me, on the other hand, I'm like, no, I want to integrate because I'm not worried about trying to get everyone to front load into my FettyCoin right this second, because I don't necessarily need that. I want people that are going to invest in FettyCoin that are going to be long-term investors, because as we move into these two centralized exchanges, I already have like hedge fund level people that I'm working on being able to integrate into our system, so that as these new diamond hands and these new Fetty, because a lot of them are very, very new, right? So as Fetty starts to go up and they have a bunch of money, they're going to have this wallet that's just like filled with money that they don't know what to do with, right? So being able to provide like staking and like fund like caching services like OTC and stuff like that for these people is kind of essential, because that's like one of the things I want to be able to do, is be able to establish passive income and generational wealth and stuff like that for anyone that supported me and was there. So yeah, I could talk a lot, sorry.
No worries. I like hearing you talk about the project. And I actually had some questions that were sent over to me by one of my community members. His name is Venice, and I'm going to pull those up for you. Let's see, Venice. Okay, so his first question was, as an adult entertainment platform, what ethical or legal considerations do you consider in the execution of your project activities? How do you ensure that your contents and adult NFT marketplace are not accessed by minors? And is there any KYC prerequisite before users can gain access to FetFan services?
Okay, so that's like all stuff that like we've had to been dealing with for like the last bazillion years. So you put 18 plus, and to be able to sign up, and you going in here and the warnings and stuff like that. And as far as, it's not really viable, I think, to like have everyone KYC, just because like everyone that wants to operate KYC, just because no other site does that. If you look at any of the other NFT platforms, whether they're 18 plus or not, I can't really think of any that I trade on that requires every user to KYC just for utilizing the service.
Certainly, yeah, and I agree. It's not really, especially with Web3, it's not really feasible to have people KYCing. At the end of the day, minors are going to be able to access adult film content online anyway. For better or worse, it's just kind of the world we live in. His follow-up question was, do you have any, you kind of answered this already, but I told him I would ask it. So do you have any plans for live interactive platform? Excuse me. Do you have any plans for a live interactive platform where users can interact with girls directly and pay for streaming tips, private shows, and special NFTs? Will users have to pay for some kind of membership for this platform? And will FettyCoin be the only currency accepted?
Okay. Yes, FettyCoin will be. Okay, so there's two different answers to that.
Okay.
So if you wish to use the integrated services via the site, then FettyCoin is the only thing that will work. And the reason I say this, because it doesn't matter what you use, what you're paying with, FettyCoin is a transactional. So FettyCoin, even if you pay with Ethereum, FettyCoin is still at the base level being used, right?
Right.
But there is the ability to be able to send directly to your person, you know, like if you just send directly to the wallet, whatever, like if you just want to send them Ethereum or something, we're not going to have an issue with that. And we want to be able to facilitate that, because honestly, you know, the more that they're making, you know, the more that they're going to have to process and send out and stake, invest, you know, and utilize within the network. You know, we're bringing in Ethereum staking and bridges and stuff like that. Someone pays them an Ethereum and they're like, oh, hey, I got this extra Ethereum just sitting here. What do I do with it? Oh, hey, that's right. FettyCoins just brought in project blah, blah, blah with this. I'm going to stake to that, you know?
Got it. And I wanted you to talk a bit more about your plans on NFT utilization. What will that look like within your ecosystem? How exactly are you planning on making use of ERC 721 tokens?
So the primary initial use is just going to be the NFT market. But what I want to be able to do is, as I'm moving forward, the real idea, the real goal is to be able to create this like utopia, a centralized utopia for a centralized hub for blockchain, right? So basically any coin that I can get in any blockchain that I can get to integrate with me, right? So you have all of these different pots, they integrate with me. When I get my credit card services and, you know, all of those integrated appropriately, and they're working together, then all of those things will be able to filter through one. Right. And then we've now completely tied the loop of the blockchain whole.
Got it. Very cool.
Also, one more thing that it'll do, because everything that's happening right now with like Web3 and all the expansion, I'm sorry, the technical nerdy stuff got me a little excited for a second. So what it's going to do is basically FettyCoins and all the integrations that are happening, they're literally going to be paving the way for being able to integrate all these services to like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of the things that you can think about, because we have very similar core functionality, core coding, the PHP code. A lot of it is very, very similar. So by getting all of that stuff pointed towards me and integrated via me, then you're literally getting integrated for all of these other things, which can then, you know, lead to, of course, these other projects picking it up, which they're going to be doing. They're going to be picking up blockchain, you know, but, you know, I kind of want to be one of the first ones. And I want to be the one that like drives the blockchain getting picked up and blockchain taking over the world. And because like I just feel like it's way better to be able to control your money and you know, you say what you do with your money versus, you know, the government or any government or anyone else saying what you should do with your money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I really admire players in the space and projects that are trying to lower that barrier to entry. I do think that you should consider launching your own NFTs. I feel like you have enough content, and I could see NFTs crossing with adult film content being as something people would be interested in buying, holding, staking, and that just bringing more value to your overall ecosystem.
Yeah, so that's a huge thing. So FetFan will have these NFTs, and I'm looking for my doggone video. I actually have a video of this, but I don't. It's gonna pop. Okay, so here's some NFT examples. So this is from FetFan.com. These are some of the artists. So these are what we've been trying to get NFTs for. You guys can see, right?
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, I mean, you can even allow adult film stars to launch their own NFTs, and they can, people that own those NFTs can have exclusive access to certain videos, one-on-ones, all that good stuff. Who designed this? Who designed this art?
So this is various submissions that are in our magazine. So these are all artists from all over the world. Got it. Very cool. They're pretty solid stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think you guys should, integrate these with NFT ERC 21, or excuse me, ERC 721, and do an NFT launch. I feel like people would be quite keen on owning these and using them in your ecosystem. I do see another. Go ahead.
Yeah, it leads to like so much, and then there's like, you see what's happening right now, like wearables and shit like that, and integrated merch, there's like so much that's happening, and it's happening right now. And I knew that it was happening. I've literally been saying it was going to happen, and I've been working. I literally shuck my ass, or they shuck their ass, or we shuck our asses for like 4 years to be able to get up the money to be able to execute this plan, and what was it, a year and a half ago, or it's almost 2 years ago now, the initiating plan was COVID was happening, and I saw what was happening, so I pitched an idea to Bree Mills. Bree Mills is a really big time producer within the adult world. She works with Adult Time, and she wins like awards and shit, about basically what it was is we were going to sell our house. We were going to move onto an RV, and we're going to travel around Alaska, seeing Alaska, figuring out where we were going to settle down and find a place that we could establish this use, right? So we traveled all around the summer, did content everywhere. It was this really cool docu-series on polyamory and everything like that. And of course, it had the naughty stuff that, was behind the scenes. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. And during that is when we actually found the Willow Trading Post, and it had everything, and it fit exactly. And, it was like, oh, this is the place. So we signed that place, and that was in November of 2021. 2020. And then November 21 is when I began the launch of FettyCoin. Because I said it's going to take me a year. It'll take a year to get, this property ready, because I have a lot of stuff and getting ready with the integrations and talking and blah, blah, blah. So take a year from that, we'll start launching FettyCoins. So in November of 2021, I started beginning the process of really started pushing towards getting the coin off the ground. January 17th, I think it was, of 2022, we fair launched at a 20K market cap. And we've been off to the races. I literally haven't slept since. I've been sitting, y'all know because I'm always talking to y'all. But yeah, I literally just haven't stopped, and I'm not going to stop until I make every single one of my holders and Fetty fam millionaires.
Well, and it sounds like you're moving a mile a minute. It sounds like you've done that through most of your career. So people like you tend to make it in the space from my experience and what I've seen in my 4 years here. I have another community question, another hand up. Sayed Rahmat, go for it, man. You've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Hi, guys. Yeah, so you mentioned about profile verification. So by connecting social media accounts to the FettyCoins platform, user will be able to complete verification process. So I want to know that which information will be FettyCoins platform access from the personal social media accounts, and how safe it is to connect social media accounts to FettyCoin platform.
Okay, so the how safe is pretty it's a pretty standard thing, because the integrations that happen via like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, those all happen within the integration guidelines of those various sites, right? So now that being said, there's various things that like an elevated developer like me can get more access to than like if you're not an elevated dev for like Facebook or Twitter or something like that, your APIs can have much less access. But for me, the purposes of that, the access that happens is primarily just for the publishing aspect of it and the integration, right? So social media is really great for profiling. The being able to take 100 people, right, from various different parts of the world and put them into a pot, right? Now, each one of those little profiles have their own likes and dislikes and interactions, right? The more of those profiles that you're able to pull data from, the more functional your information and analytics are, right? So as all of these users are integrating and liking things and following things and commenting on things, what's happening is basically they're building a profile for their use, right? Now, all of these coins that are then being integrated and projects are then being integrated into FettyCoins. What this will do is, instead of you just going to like CoinMarketCap or one of these various sites that have like this gigantic list of all these coins and little bitty pictures, and you have to like go through each one of them and try to find that needle in the haystack for what like might fit your investing needs. Basically, my app and my APIs will start driving you towards projects that are more likely for you to be interested in based upon your usage. So that will basically lead for starting up projects and stuff like that. It'll lead to an increase to their volume, their organic reach, being able to be seen faster, right? So that they can pick up new investors quicker and stuff like that. As far as like how safe it is, it's as safe as the Facebook and Twitter APIs are. If Facebook, Twitter API gets somehow hacked, then it won't be as safe. But it's pretty safe. Facebook APIs have been around for a while.
Okay, got it. It makes sense. So my next question, on your website, it's mentioned about ranking system for profiles. Can you briefly explain how will that work? And I mean, will users be able to rank the profiles, or a FettyCoin team will be doing the this rating?
So that's actually up in the panel right now. So I call it the panel. My inner circle is like this tribunal type thing. I have a couple of different ideas about that, and one of them is trying to get like the Spywolf and Interfi and Certic and folks like that, right? So there's a couple of different avenues that I can do with this, and sorry, I get kind of smiley when I think about it, but yeah, I can break this up and be able to add these security folks. They can be giving their various different ratings, and then we can then take the social media metrics, and that can be that, and then it can be a combination, or we could just have like one rating for like the security folks and one rating for like the community aspect of it. To be able to see that, I think I have it on FetFan still operational. It's kind of like in a testing thing. Let me go to members real quick. Let me make sure it can pull it up. All right. I think, yeah, okay, it's working. Okay. So it's pretty simple, and I actually plan on being able to expand it. I apologize if there's any nudity that pops up. But yeah, you'll be able to rate and stuff like that. Now there is like a validation process that we can add for, to keep like FUD and stuff like that. But I want it to like legitimately be able to give someone like a real idea. Now, let's say that, let's just say that this was we're on FettyCoins, right? And this is a profile, right? So we went to their profile. We'll just go to mine. All right, so you click on this, you're on their profile, you see all the links that are connected, right? You see everything that's here. You're like, all right, well, I want to check out their projects. You then come to their projects, and you can then see where their projects and what their projects are rated, and how they're doing, right? Because anyone that's been around it, that there's a million people that say, I'm going to come to your project and I'm going to bring this many investors and this many this and this many that. Well, it's really simple. They can just simply come here and they can like legitimately see like if you're worth a damn or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And thank you for answering that question in a really detail. So on your white paper, my next question is on your white paper. I've read about FettyCoins have play to earn games as well. So I want to know that how many total games are there and how many are live right now.
Sweet. That's a man. What's your name?
Sayed.
Syed. Man, you are freaking on it, bro. I appreciate you. You are asking some good questions. Okay. So I have the ability to be able to integrate games. So I actually have a bunch of like base HTMLs just for like proof of concept. There's like a shit ton of them here. But basically what I wanted to be able to do is we have to integrate various games into the site, so then people can come here, they can check it all out, they can download, they can read, they can verify. This is then connected to their community pages, you know, via here, so that they can, you know, talk and share and do all that good stuff. Right now, because I'm multi-chain and because it's all integrated, if they need to be able to, you know, get new coins or something like that, you know, they can just simply grab it from like Rubik. They can get their swaps. They can do whatever they need to be able to do because it's already integrated. Now, in regards to games, most games have it integrated to where their coins are already there. Like you get them via the app. But for example, we come to here, let's say that this game, you know, was on the site, you know, they click on it, they go to the page for the game. And it's actually would be over here. Disregard this, I'm playing. They come to the page for the game, right? And they can see where the crypto is. They can see, you know, all the links. They can see the pre-sales. They can come in here. They can buy swag, you know, they can buy token packs, you know, whatever it is, your NFTs. So everything that would be integrated through here. And because the way it is, all right, so they're integrated in here. Their NFTs are then integrated into there. And then everything is then integrated into one massive unit here, right? So then all the top rated ones and features and all that other stuff will be through the one centralized location.
Yeah. Got it.
And so, we are looking. So I actually have 0 actual blockchain games that I have integrated into it as of yet. I have 3 that I'm talking to, but if you have any ideas, like I'm literally like, I just want people to be able to, you know, find legit projects.
Yeah. So you are adding these games from different providers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So moving into my next question. So FettyCoins platform is offering different features and like video calls, group calls, stories, articles. And you also mentioned that users will be able to comment and interact and like. So I want to know that how are you planning on preventing hate speech, racism, intolerance on your platform as people around the world will be using the platform?
Yeah, so because it's community based, number one, there's the visual of it, right? If like me or one of the other mod level people see something, then you know they can get rid of it. But also it's got integrated reporting and everything like that, so it's not going to be tolerated. We've been that honestly is like one of the easiest things to be able to deal with, and because like I've been dealing with it so long because of FedFan. There's like this gray area, right? So when you have a project, it runs into a hiccup, right? That doesn't mean that the project is necessarily trying to scam anyone, right? And they could just be trying to adapt and overcome to this hiccup, you know? But during these hiccup times, there is a lot of FUD potential, right? So being able to manage the public FUD in a way that, you know, if you're posting something that's constructive, like a constructive feedback, constructive criticism is constructive criticism, you know, but FUD is FUD, you know, and being able to limit that it will actually really assist a lot of projects, and it'll actually assist the community like as a whole. So there's several ways to be able to do that, you know, the community-based policing, you know, the visual of the various mods that are seeing it. And, you know, I plan on moving into the direction of being able to have, you know, like a mod panel for being able to, like, you know, community review and stuff like that. So when I was on fetfan.com, every single issue that we had, I had at least 10 people, 10 artists that would provide their feedback for each issue, right? So basically what I did was I took all of the images that were submitted. You know, it didn't matter who you were, you know, names weren't attached. It was just the image, right? So I took all of the images and I put them into like one giant folder, right, in one file. And, you know, all the people that were voting, they would open it up, and there was just an Excel there, and they would put, you know, this image is first, second, third, and they would label them, you know, 1 through 50 or whatever it was, right? So then I would take all of them and I would put them together and I would recalculate them. And then the top, however many images, like 20, 30, 50, or however many it was, those images would then be placed into the magazine. Because I didn't want it to just be my vision. I want it to be community's vision and community, like ideas and what everybody wanted.
Yeah, that's great to hear. You have you have that thing sorted out. So my next question is, I read about Fettyverse. So can you explain how will that work out in future?
My Fettyverse. So I love. So for everybody that asked, so Fetty, it actually doesn't come from FetFan. Fetty's name, she's the mascot. She is Fetty White, and she's actually named after Betty White. Betty White is, I love Betty White, and I literally made Fetty White 100% with the goal in my life of Betty White someday seeing Fetty White and wanting to meet me and hug me. I just wanted a hug from Betty White, you know. When she passed away this past year at the end of it, like I was literally like walking into the shower and I was on my TG group and I was talking, and some of my mods were like, bro, Betty White just died. I was like, stop fucking with me. Like, you know, it's not real. Everyone always says she dies. And then like the links started coming in and I was like truly devastated, like in my soul.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Did I answer it? Did I answer it right?
Yeah, you did. Okay, so I don't see any more community hands up. I have a few more questions for you guys. One is, what are some, you've had quite the lucrative career from what I understand. What are some painful learning points, failures that you've taken from past experiences and are applying to this project that you're working today to make sure that it's a smooth success?
So, yeah. So one of the biggest things is when I first launched, you know, it makes it really difficult being able to figure out who is legit within the crypto space and who isn't, you know, because there's no real tracking, there's no real verification, you know. And just because someone is verified on a Twitter account doesn't mean, you know, like they're legit. And doesn't mean that like their reach is legit, and stuff like that. So like I myself have like legitimately had issues with, you know, marketing and companies that, you know, say they're going to do A and, you know, B and C, and can't even do like a lowercase a, b, or c. So that's one of the huge driving factors in it, is being able to, you know, increase the confidence, you know, for the average user, and even for like the veteran user, you know, being able to increase the confidence in the choices that the individual is making. You know, the more information that they can get, the more that they can put together, the more confidence that they have. The more confidence that they have, the more likely they are to share it, right? And the more likely they are to share it, the more likely it's going to get seen, you know? And that's how word of mouth works.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. And where do you see yourself a year from now? Like, give us a quick roadmap, vision for the next year.
I'm 100K away from making everybody in my Fetty pool millionaires. That's let's see. That honestly, a year from now, I can't even fathom like what that money will look like. You know, I've been working so long and so hard, like just grinding my ass off every single day, you know, building organic reach and building following and establishing, you know, all my various like corporate connections and sponsors. And like, I honestly don't see any reason why in the next year, maybe two, we shouldn't be able to be well over, you know, the 1 billion mark. And that seems like, you know, that's a big thing to say, but the reason that I can say this is because it's not relying on my organic reach alone. It's not relying on just my token functionalities alone. By creating a socially integrated, centralized and decentralized exchange and communication platform, every single one of the mods, investors, coins, products, exchanges that I integrate and services that I integrate into my service, their organic reach then integrates with mine. Their exposure then integrates with mine. Now, vice versa, every single time that one of them integrates, they're integrating with my organic reach and then the organic reach of all the other ones that are also touching, right? So it creates this blanket to where everybody gets seen more.
I love that. You're a great speaker, obviously, and it's not often that we get to have adult film stars on here and interview people of that background. Because of that, a few of our community members are a little too shy. They DM me and they ask me how they could find your content online.
AK Ginger Snaps.
What's that?
So, all of our links are on there. So if you go to twitter.com/akgingersnaps, that will bring you to, you know, our main page. Twitter.com. Is there an ability to like type in your chat? And is there like a link I can respond to?
Yeah, so you know the group chat we're all in, the AMA group chat? If you want to share stuff in there, I can forward it into the main Whale Coin Talk chat.
And I think let me just see this one. I just wrote. Let me pull up media.
I just tagged you in it.
All right, 1 second. Let me pull up a media thing real quick.
Ginger Snaps, Lana Mars.
I found the AK Ginger Snaps. I'm going to share that.
Yep. We have.
Yeah, community was quite keen to see your socials. What was that? OnlyFans, you said?
Mm-hmm.
1 second. I'm about to post it. Wait, I don't see the community chat. You tagged me in it, you said?
So I tagged you in the private AMA chat that we're all in. I can tag you again.
Okay. I think here, yeah. Boom, there's some links.
Awesome. Let me forward those. Really cool. All right, we got it. So, you know, we're at the end of the AMA here. However, I tried to ask as many questions as I can. If there's anything that I didn't cover that you really want to talk about, please go ahead and drop that knowledge on us. Otherwise, leave us with the bang. Give us a quick summary of who you are, what you're building, and why people should come engage and invest in your ecosystem. After they do their own research, of course.
Yeah. So first of all, like me as like someone that's really into coins, I really hate how like there's like rugs pulled and all this other stuff. So I have like 0 vested tokens. I did this on purpose. So when I want to buy tokens, I have to buy them through the marketplace, just like every other normal person. And I really am trying to create something that is not just, you know, functional for myself. I'm really trying to create something that will lead to more users being able to, you know, get into blockchain, and get the freedom of that. But something I have been, you know, wanting to do, and I've been trying to do the last few AMAs, is actually ask y'all and the community if you guys had any ideas or suggestions for integration partners that maybe we should, you know, might be looking at, or I should be looking at that maybe we're not. So, or maybe even integration ideas that maybe I haven't talked about that you think might be kind of cool. Yeah. So was that cool to ask y'all, if you, of course, the VC folks and the community, if anybody has any ideas or insight for things we could work on that would make our community stronger and more useful to you personally? Either one of them, FettyCoins or FetFan?
Well, what I'm going to do is after the AMA, I'm going to unlock the chat, and we can start engaging community members and asking what they think. What I think is, you know, like as I said earlier, I think that the utilization of NFTs within your ecosystem is going to be huge, and I also think the peer-to-peer adult film star to viewer relationship is going to be huge, right? When the average Joe can hop on there and they can use crypto to engage their favorite adult film star. I mean, I'm not too familiar with how OnlyFans works, but I'm assuming it's peer-to-peer. But I think that projects like yours can displace even OnlyFans, because even they take too much of a cut, right? And there are ways for you to make revenue and make a lot of revenue and make a lot of money without taking that big of a cut from the adult film stars, right? There you go. So
yep.
It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game.
We lose 40 to 60% of our sales, like just for putting a video on some of these sites. And the problem is that like they have so much organic reach that they do actually sell, you know, but they make so much money off of us. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. And I think that model, it has a timer. The more this, as you said, the more this tech becomes mainstream, and the more we become decentralized, not just in our currency, but as a species, as a civilization, platforms like OnlyFans aren't going to be able to compete with one like yours. That's gonna, at the end of the day, everyone wants to preserve more of their wealth, right? And an adult film star is putting hours into, you know, engaging their audience, making films. You know, it's a lifestyle, and they should be able to keep most of their pot, if not all of their pot. And like you said, there are so many other ways for you to not just provide that medium to the film stars, but you can also make a lot of money doing a lot of other things with your ecosystem. And that's, you know, that's what you just told us for the last 90 minutes.
Yeah. You know, like that's the thing, is that we don't have to like rape are base users, you know, of everything they own to be able to be profitable. If we all work together, I might not make a lot of money in the beginning, you know, but if I make some money so that I can like cover hosting and do stuff, then that's cool with me, you know, because I believe that as these things expand, you know, and as they increase, then they're going to lead to more. Like I have an entire affiliate program built into FettyCoins like already, you know, and I can add more, but it's like integrated up to like 5 different levels now. And that's just straight up integration and straight up referrals. And the cool thing about this is that it actually allows me to track by campaign. So was it DigiFinex right now? I'm talking with them about they have a new program that they're Spark plan type thing, and I'm talking to them about their Spark plan and being able to make the people that are trying to do that make their mission more successful, and make it more streamlined and an easier way for people to be able to push things out and share it and validate all of the interactions that are happening.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Fetty, ladies, it's been a great pleasure talking to you all. I'm really keen on seeing what happens with you in the next year. I think we're going to hear about you soon. And anytime you want to come back and do another AMA with Whale Coin Talk, I'd be happy to host you.
No, this was really cool. We've been talking for a while with the various people, so I'm always like sitting around here working and talking and bouncing stuff off and shooting, you know, messages to my various group and being like, yo, what do you guys think about this? How does this look? You know, just really trying to expand, you know, my reach and expand, because the more that my reach is expanded, the more that my knowledge is expanded, then the better that I'm able to, you know, provide services. That being said, that brings me back to one of the community development aspect that you saw on the tokenomics. I just remembered this. As I get big, as I get like much better and I have volume going, I actually plan on taking the 1% of my profits and working with or my taxes rather, and working with various charities that are like veteran-based, LGBTQ-based, and autism-based initially to start. I myself, the reason that I'm so good at all this stuff and whatever is because I am higher functioning autistic. What you see right here is not what's happening down here. So that's why like I try to like talk with, I try to not let you guys see my stimming. So I'm actually higher functioning autistic. So I really want to be able to work with charities and function and like companies and organizations that can, you know, like really help better understanding and supporting of people, you know, like me, and not just whores, but, you know, like people that are also, there's a lot of like misunderstandings about various like mental health things in America, and you know, one of the big ones, you know, there is a lot of misunderstandings about autism. Like I am amazing with computers and things that aren't humans, but not so great with humans. I'm great like this, you know.
Really? I was gonna say you seem like you're pretty good with humans.
I am. I found out that I am really, really good on cam. I'm not so great like in person, which is kind of awkward because we're at this level, we have to go to like conventions and stuff like that, you know. So like AVNs, like the AVNs in our world. So we've been nominated for AVNs. So AVNs are like the Oscars, right? And then below that is XBiz. XBiz are like the Screen Actor Guild awards, right? So we've been nominated for AVNs 3 years in a row, XBiz 4 years in a row. We won Why Not best cam couple in 2019. We won MiniVid. So MiniVids, if you want to see the real stuff, akgingersnaps.minivids.com. That is one of our primary clip stores that have most of our like content. So you can see like our Jill Cassidy, Mary Moody. We did a collab with Jack Slayer. Jack Slayer is he's all over black.com. So if you're a black.com fan, Jack Slayer, he's on there. He's cool as shit. We did a collab with him where it was the four of us, or the three of us plus him, and Riley Starr, Mary Moody, Jill Cassidy, Chloe Cherry, Katie Cush, Lauren Phillips. I feel bad like saying names and not, saying someone, because they'd be like, you didn't mention that you fucked me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I was on the spot. I can't understand.
Well, Ginger Snaps is shaking her head behind you. I feel like you're pretty good with people. That's the impression I get. I think you're being a little being modest, which is a good thing sometimes. But I had a really good time talking to you guys. This was a really fun AMA. I don't typically get to have AMAs like this. Actually, this is the first AMA I've had where the energy's been the way it has been for the last 90 something minutes. But I'm going to be cognizant of your time, and I'm going to let you go. And honestly, the way you're vibing right now, I feel like we could just have a beer and talk for the next 2 hours.
We like every AMA that I've had, we ended up hanging out like more. Like Caesar's AMA like went so much longer than it normally like would, and it was literally just like talking, and explaining it, because it's really hard to be able to put like what all the functionalities of creating something this big into like one like hour talk, because there's just creating, the first truly socially integrated, centralized, decentralized exchanges is a pretty big deal, and it has like a lot that goes to it, and there's like a lot of different integration aspects that happen to be able to make it function. So I like talking about it, and I like talking about crypto, and it's fun for me.
Right on. Well, Dr. Fetty, it's been a great pleasure. Hope we can have an AMA soon, maybe like 6 months down the line, and see where you guys are at. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Wish you all the best, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Cheers, y'all.